Hey everyone, I'm Ryan with Open Door Genetics, and this is the fourth video in a 5-part series on how to find your biological family using DNA. Step number 4 is to identify common ancestors, and today I'll show you how. If you share DNA with someone, this means you share a common ancestor. This common ancestor is the reason you share DNA. You and your matches are like 2 points of a triangle. Your common ancestor, somewhere back in time, is the third point holding you together. In general, the more DNA you share with a match, the more recent your common ancestor will be. And the less DNA you share, the further back in time your common ancestor will be. Before you can start finding common ancestors, you will need to have sorted your DNA matches into subgroups. If you don't know how to cluster your matches, check out our previous video at the link below. Once you've clustered your matches, you're ready to begin. Let's say you have 4 subgroups of matches. Now 4 is the ideal number, but you don't have to have 4. We'll call these subgroups genetic networks. And the people in these networks share DNA with you and with one another. Some networks will be bigger and others will be smaller, but here's the key idea to understand. Each genetic network has its own common ancestor. And most of the time, this will be a common ancestral couple. So if you have 4 networks, you'll have 4 sets of common ancestors. Now it's important to understand, these common ancestors are somewhere on your tree, at the great-grandparent level or further back. And so as you discover your common ancestors, you are filling out your tree. So how do you identify your common ancestors? Well, let's start at the beginning. Begin by choosing a genetic network. I recommend choosing the network with the most quality family trees among your matches. That's because your first step will be to compare the family trees of everyone in the network. Now, not everyone will have a tree. Some trees will be private, others will be partially complete. That's okay, just start with what you're given. So let's say there are 4 quality family trees in your genetic network. What you want to do next is search for common surnames across these trees. Ideally, you'll see the same surname pop up in multiple places. It looks like in this genetic network, the Fry family is going to be key. Now, if you keep seeing a very common surname like Smith, you'll want to make sure you're not dealing with different Smith families. You might do this by comparing the locations on their trees. Once you've identified a repeating surname like Fry, take a closer look at that family across the various trees. Pay attention to the first names and see if you can find the same person twice. So here, I see the name Al Fry in 2 places. Notice that match 3 and 4 both descend from Al Fry, but from different children. Now this tells me how matches 3 and 4 are related to one another. But it raises the question of how the Frys from match 1 and 2 fit in. To find the connection, you may have to build some of these trees back further in time on your own. So quick tip, ancestry.com allows you to create unlimited family trees. So you can duplicate from scratch what you see in your matches tree and then build further back. This is called a mirror tree. Since mirror trees are just for research, make sure you go into the settings and make your tree private and unsearchable. Now watch what happens when I build match 1's tree further back in time. Sure enough, Bud's father is Al Fry. And next I build out match 2, and Cam's father is Ben Fry, whose father is Al Fry. So that means that all 4 of these matches descend from Al Fry and his wife, Jo Ray. From there, we can map out how all 4 matches are related to Al and Jo. This chart helps me see where everybody fits in, and it clarifies that Al and Jo are the common ancestors for this genetic network. Remember, this is only one of my 4 genetic networks, so I can repeat this process with each genetic network. And the more common ancestors I'm able to find, the more I'll be able to fill out my tree. Now, if you know where you fit on the Fry family tree, you can add yourself in. That will allow you to put a relational label on each match. Second cousin once removed, and so on. If you don't know where you fit on the tree, that's okay. Check out our next video on finding yourself on your matches tree. And if you'd like me to personally help with finding common ancestors or your search as a whole, reach out at my website, www.opendoorgenetics.com. And of course, don't forget to subscribe below to stay connected.